Welcome to Captain Kyle's Cosplay Spotlight. I'm Captain Kyle, and I'm sitting here with someone who has traveled further than you could possibly imagine through time and space, but was not the driver. I'd like to introduce to you Martha Jones. Thank you for coming on the show with us today, Martha.
No problem. Had a little bit of time in my schedule. Figured I might as well stop by.
Well, we appreciate that. So you have a lot of accomplishments of your own, but a lot of people know that you were a companion of the Doctor, who has probably saved every planet in this universe at least 27 times, but some with your help. But when you first met the Doctor, first of all, you went to the moon. How cool was that, being on the moon?
Amazing. The only problem that I had with that was the Jadoon. That was a problem.
And I understand there was a little air issue.
Yeah.
So you meet the Doctor. First of all, he's in the hospital pretending to be someone else, and you're like, how many hearts does this guy have? But one of the first things he does is he kissed you. I hope you let him know that that is not proper behavior with a woman from Britain. Now, if you were from Jersey, that would be different. Well, did you rake him over the coals for that?
We had a little talk about that. It was just a DNA transfer. Nothing going on there. Not like I'm secretly in love with him or anything like that.
No, of course not. What's to love? You know, I mean, the guy's like 900 years old. I mean, he's got to look a little crotchety, doesn't he?
You would think so.
I know Yoda, you know, looks pretty.
Yeah, Yoda.
I don't know that you'd be in love with Yoda. Maybe you would, you know? He's got that whole, you know, rap thing going on with his grammar. Anyway, back. But you're an accomplished professional on your own. You're actually, by now, an actual doctor.
That's true.
You actually have the PhD. We don't know if the Doctor does, but you have a PhD.
I do.
And you can, like, do surgery. I've got this twinge in my, never mind. But do you feel that people judge you more as a former companion of the Doctor than on your own merits?
I do feel that I still get a lot about being a former companion of the Doctor than just being Dr. Martha Jones. It's whenever people see me, they're like, oh, you traveled with the Doctor, you did this, that, and the other, but it's just talk. Like, I've been on my own for a while now. I've finished med school, and right now I'm working with UNIT. That
is awesome. You're in the Unified Intelligence Task Force.
Yes, I am.
Does it seem like a step down from traveling with the Doctor through space and time and saving the universe? Does it seem a little step down to only be like regulated to Earth?
It is a bit of a step down. The change of scenery is very solitary. But the bright side is, everywhere I go, I'm not scheduled to die at some point, so it's okay. I'll take that. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I am scheduled to die. Gee, look at my wrist. I gotta go. Anyway. When you were traveling with the Doctor, and I'm sorry that I'm bringing up the Doctor so much, but that is a great deal of, actually probably why you got a job with UNIT, because you had that experience dealing with extraterrestrials.
That's true.
Did that expand your mind, you know, and your perspective on things, seeing all those different races and planets and just being out there?
I think it definitely does, because once you're in the TARDIS and you're out exploring space, it's a completely different perception of just being on Earth, being surrounded by humans. You get to go see all kinds of creatures, all kinds of places, and get to learn about them. It's just something amazing.
That sounds like fun, but I understand there was some danger involved, so not necessarily something you want to call your travel agent and try to book?
Definitely not. There's always some sort of danger involved. I would probably risk my life every time I stepped outside of the ship, even inside. It's dangerous.
Especially with him driving, I understand.
He does not actually know how to drive the ship. It's dangerous.
I understand the parking brake
Have you ever heard? It's always on. And have you ever heard of not getting in a car with a drunk driver? This is worse.
Do Time Lords get drunk?
I have not tested that theory.
I know he pretended to be drunk, and you know, apparently he has a thing to say about always bringing bananas to a party. But anyway, there was a year of your life that you spent when the Doctor was in the clutches of the Master, and you traveled all around the world while he was there. Is that? But for us, that year never happened. Is it? First of all, how do you feel when you like run into someone you met over that year but they don't remember you? Is that awkward or?
It's definitely awkward. It's like a really strange case of deja vu, but you can't say anything because you're not sure if they're that same exact person that happened in the year that never was, like their personality and everything about them. You don't know if they're the same as they were before, or if maybe they're still going through things. It's really complicated. It's complicated. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. You have to act like, sorry, you have to act like children. But do you have any interesting observations about the world since you did travel around and got to see so much of it during that year?
Definitely. The world's a bit bigger than what you think it is. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different places. Learned a lot about the different cultures around the world as I continued on my journey. It's just amazing. Of course, the only thing that sucks is that no one else remembers. Only a select few people.
But then again, you could pretend to be a psychic and you could like tell them stuff about themselves that they told you in that year that never existed, and yeah.
It's true, but a wise man has told me that time is not linear, so nothing's probably going to be the same. It's all different.
A point. If you could go back in time, though, with your experiences with the doctor, would you try to warn yourself off? Because I understand, again, the danger. And there was these feelings that I'm sure you didn't have, but people perceived you as having, about the doctor. Would you kind of warn yourself off, or?
If I did have the choice to go back and do it all over again, I definitely would. Having an experience like that in your life, it's just something that can't be replaced, and I'm just glad that I decided to keep going along for a while, and I would definitely do it again had I had a chance.
I have to salute you for your strength in when you're in a situation. A lot of people who are in these have these feelings for someone that can't go anywhere. They stick it out even though, they can't. There's no possibility, and you realized, it was futile, and you walked away. And I got to say that probably took a lot of strength. So I got to hand it to you. So were you going to write a book about your travel, or is that like not allowed?
I could write a book about my travels, but I don't really see it necessary. The doctor, what he ends up doing is that he sends all the stories to the BBC, and then they broadcast it.
Aha!
So everyone already knows what's going on.
And they're complaining about shooting schedules, right? Yeah, they just get it directly from the doctor.
It's a cover-up.
So any advice for someone who would have the opportunity to travel with the doctor? Do you say go for it?
I say go for it, but be very careful. He is most definitely a madman in a blue box, and you must stay at least 2 steps ahead of him at all times, just in case he's a little bit late to come save you.
All good advice. Well, that's the time we have.
All right.
Thank you so much. We will be back in a few minutes with a wonderful cosplayer. But right now we have some cosplay with Constance. Thank you.
Today on Cosplay with Constance, we're going to be interviewing young cosplayers. We will scour the globe in search of them. Well, at least we'll look around the Eastern United States. So let's see who we can find. Hey, what's your first name?
Colin.
And Colin, how old are you?
I'm 11.
Would you be able to tell us who you're dressed as today?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, your cosplay is really amazing. How did you put it together?
I actually don't know. I wasn't there for most of it.
Did your parents help you put it together?
Yeah.
What made you want to dress like the doctor?
I came out of my mom was watching Doctor Who, and then all of a sudden, the idea popped in my head.
Do you watch a lot of Doctor Who as well?
No.
No? So who, if you don't watch Doctor Who a lot, who are some of your favorite characters from TV shows and books, whatever you watch?
I don't really have any favorite characters except for Kid Flash, but I don't really have any favorite characters because I don't have favorite authors, I don't have favorite books, I don't have favorite TV shows. I just read and watch anything.
That's really cool. What's your favorite thing about Kid Flash?
Obviously, he's fast.
He's very fast. Can you run really fast? No. Okay. And are you having fun today at ItsaCon?
Yes.
What's your favorite thing so far?
Oh, Pixel over there.
The pixel beat arts?
Yeah.
What did you see that was cool over there?
Everything.
Everything. Okay. And do you fix a lot with your sonic screwdriver?
No.
Does it work?
I mean, it does this.
It's pretty cool. Can you do a Doctor Who pose for us into the camera? Okay. Very awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.
And what's your first name?
Cameron.
Okay, Cameron. And who are you cosplaying as today?
Carl.
It's a really cool Carl costume. How did you put it together?
My mom went and bought me all the stuff, and I started liking it
What made you want to dress up as Carl?
because he looks like my age, and he is fun to watch.
Are you a big fan of The Walking Dead?
Yes,
Who are some of your favorite characters from The Walking Dead?
Carl, Rick, Daryl, and Michonne.
They're all really good characters. They're some of my favorites as well, especially Michonne. What's some of your favorite parts about the show?
When Daryl eats a snake and they go to find places.
And are you having a lot of fun at ItsaCon today?
Yes,
What's your favorite part?
I'm trying to get money to go see Carl, and I made a lot of money so far.
Where are you going to go see Carl?
Next week at I forget Walker Stalker Con.
Are you going to be at that con as well then?
Yes,
Are you excited for Walker Stalker?
yes.
What is your favorite part about going to conventions?
To meet some people that are in the show.
And do you like to dress up a lot as well?
Yes.
Do you have any other characters you would like to dress up as?
Yeah. I like the WWE, so I don't know how I could like dress up like them, but I like the WWE. I might dress up as the Gotham because my mom likes the Gotham.
That'd be very cool. Who are some of your other favorite characters, like from other TV shows and comics?
SpongeBob, Teen Titans Go, other kind of Teen Titans, and all superheroes.
Big fan of those as well. Can you give a Carl pose for us into the camera? Thank you very much, Carl. Now go inside. Get in the house.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think we found some really great kid cosplayers. They all did pretty well. If you have any comments, please leave them below on the video.
All right, welcome back, everyone. As you might suspect, Doctor Who is considered science fiction, though you never know. It could be that one of those timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly things. But this is not actually Martha Jones. I know. It's a letdown.
Sorry.
I mean, and she will not be performing in the operations later, but would you kindly introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amber. Online, I am Subasan Young Cosplay.
Welcome. So I'm going to go out on a limb, say you're a Doctor Who fan.
Definitely.
So is the 10th Doctor your favorite Doctor?
Yes. I know it's oversaid, but he just is.
Well, he is an awesome Doctor, I have to say. Who's your second favorite?
Second favorite? I'm just going to say this because I've actually met him, Sylvester McCoy. He's a brilliant man.
Definitely.
Definitely. Very fun.
I did have the opportunity to meet him, and he made some semi-dirty jokes at Dragon Con, so
Definitely.
I won't repeat them here, but
Sounds about right.
ask me later, Email me. How long have you been doing cosplay?
I believe we're on year 4 right now. Pretty sure, 3 or 4 years now.
3 or 4 years, very nice. And other than Martha, what other characters do you cosplay?
I do a variety of characters from anime and television. I cannot list them all because I have way too many just sitting around. It's a lot.
Is there one in particular that springs to mind when you think about not being Martha?
Probably Old Greg or Gothica.
Okay. I can't say I'm familiar with those.
Old Greg was from the British series The Mighty Boosh. He's like
Okay.
a very creepy merman who goes around stealing people, and he lifts up his skirt and light shoots up from it.
Obviously, you've never seen me in my Zap Brannigan, 'cause I don't even have to lift up the tunic, and there's light shining off of my, anyway, my legs. Well, that's very cool. So you play a creepy merman.
Yes, with a light up lady man bit.
Okay,
Yeah. That's my favorite one so far. But Gothica is just this big angel from the anime Madoka Magica. Very big costume. Very big costume.
So have you, in this very big costume, had any difficulty navigating certain areas?
Yes, when I'm wearing that, I have to have at least 2 or 3 handlers with me to make sure that I'm able to clear doorways, make sure that people stay out of the way, and to alert me if someone's trying to get my attention, because it's really hard for me to pay attention to what's going on around me at all times, because I have these like 6-foot wings and I'm in this huge hoop skirt. It's just, it's interesting.
So I take it browsing down the vendor tables at a con would be a little bit difficult in that particular
Very
outfit.
difficult, yeah.
Where do you keep your wallet in that thing? Anywhere, because you have all this space?
Actually, someone holds it for me.
Good idea. It'd probably be difficult to get it out of the costume.
Yeah, not my best interest.
So do you make your costumes, buy your costumes? Is it a combination?
Most of my costumes I make, but I do have what I call cosplays, which are just pieces that I have sitting around, such as Martha. I just happen to have like 3 of her outfits sitting in my closet. Very weird.
So you and Agatha Freeman have very similar taste in clothes, or
very
at least
similar taste
at least
in
the costume
clothes.
designer on
Yeah.
on Doctor Who, and you have very similar tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, closet cosplay is definitely a budgetary way to go. When you make your costumes, is it mainly sewing? Is it? I imagine there was some foam and maybe different structures with wings. I mean, you can't exactly sew wings.
Definitely can. I do a lot of sewing in any of the builds I normally use with foam or acrylic. I started using that recently. It's pretty fun.
What's the longest it's taken you to make a costume?
Probably that Gothica costume. It took me about 6 months to make.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many hours a day did you spend on it?
I want to say about 4 or 5 hours a day.
So did you have any friends at the time?
Yeah.
They would just come and be like, "Excuse me, do you want to build a snowman?"
No, it was more like, "Hey, are you still alive in there?" And then I would emerge from a pile of fabric and say, "Yes. Did you bring food?"
Food is important, yes. Now you may enter. You have bought me some food.
Yes.
At cons, have you had any strange moments with your cosplays? Either, even as Martha, going up to someone and having someone be totally freaking out because you're Martha.
Yes, I have had that. I went to AwesomeCon in 2013 when Billie Piper was there. Everyone was freaking out, couldn't figure out why. I met Billie. She thought I was Freema for a while. The same thing happened at Regeneration with Terry Malloy. He went around the entire weekend thinking I was Freema in disguise as Martha. Up until the point where I was sitting around in the guest lounge and I took off my jacket and he didn't see my tattoo. And he's like, "Hold on a second, you're not her." But I, especially at Regen with the children, I love that because they get really excited because they think I'm Martha. I can't kill it for them, but there was this little 4-year-old boy, had to be 4, dressed up as the 4th Doctor, roaming around during the tea party, and he wouldn't be quiet. So I went over to him, I'm like, "Can you be quiet for me, please? This is really important for Mom and Dad." And he goes, "Okay, Martha." And he sits there nice and quiet, no screams, no complaints. I see him later in the dealer's hall, and he's just so excited to see me that his parents are like, "Let's take a picture." So we take a picture together, and they say, "Just one more picture, one more," because he was moving a little bit. He gives me another, we take another picture, and then he leans over, and he gives me a little kiss right here.
Wow.
And his parents were like, "Oh my God, no!" And I'm like, it's okay.
You get that a lot.
Yeah, it's okay.
So what do you do when you're not cosplaying?
I am a college student, and I also go to work. That's almost it, and the occasional Saturday laser tag rounds with friends.
Ooh. Are you like a marksman out there, like Green Beret rolling around? And
No, there's this little place that only I can fit in the arena, so I'll sit in there, and when people go by, I just pick them off.
Very cool. Well, that is awesome. Well, I have to say, if I didn't know that you weren't actually the actress, I might be a little confused. And that's got to be a great feeling when someone comes up to you and actually thinks you're the actor or the actress.
Yeah.
So that's about all the time we have.
All right.
Thank you so much. Actually, we're going to be back in just a couple moments. Right now, we're going to go to con tips, and so we'll be right back. Thanks.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Cosplay with Constance. We have another con tip for you. We're going to be discussing etiquette at panels, and we're here with, what's your name?
I'm Dave Solo from Walker Nation.
And what kind of tips can you give us about going to panels and the etiquette there? What questions we should ask, what questions we shouldn't ask?
Sure, let's start with the don'ts, because there's not a ton of them, but they're pretty important. Don't ask for hugs and or selfies while the panel is going on. That interrupts a panel. And not everyone may not want to hug you, you know? Well, you, yes. Me, not so much. So don't ask about the hugs and the selfies. And also, you try to avoid the main things you'd like to avoid when you meet someone for the first time. Anything, you know, risque or politics or religious stuff. You know, when you meet someone at a cocktail party, try to avoid the same things, you know, that you would want to avoid there. As far as the do's, compliments are always a nice way to start it out, right? Like, you look fantastic as Rosita.
Thank you.
See what compliments do? So compliments are a great way to start. And then asking them about their experience. You know, a great way to end when you set up a question on a panel is, so what was that like? What was that experience like? Also, you know, hypotheticals. Who would you like to play? What would you like to see happen, you know, in your show or your field? So open-ended questions. You know, you don't want to do the Chris Farley show, you know, like, what you did, that was awesome. Did you like being in that game? That's a yes or no kind of question. So you want to keep it open-ended and let them have fun with it.
Great. Very good options as well. Do you have any other tips going to conventions in general? Any other tips that you can give us?
Yeah, you know, I would say go in with an open mind and follow the golden rule. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, I'm a dad, and I have a little girl who cosplays. Especially when it comes to the females, fellas, you know, respect their boundaries. You know, it's everybody's a human being, and you know, it's just being a person. Just remember that when you go, treat people the way you want to be treated, and have fun. It's fun. Let loose. Kick back.
Try to have some fun. Oh, one more thing about panels. I have seen a lot of people ask sort of questions from celebrities, such as trying to get spoilers from them.
Oh. Yeah, you definitely want to avoid that because they're not going to tell you. And if by some chance they slip up and it goes really, really wrong really quickly, it's going to be bad news for everybody. So, you know, don't get up and what's going to happen in season 6? They're not going to say, we find the cure and everybody's okay. So if you get very few opportunities to ask a question, so try to make it a good one they can answer.
All right, thank you. It's really good advice. So I know you work for Walker Stalker. What kind of stuff do you do with them?
Well, I'm the host of The Sanctuary, which was the former film screening area. So we screen all kinds of movies, Night of the Living Dead, stuff from the Independent Film Channel. We have live mini panels, cosplay panels. Yeah, we have oddities, displays. We also do my podcast, Walker Nation, live in there as well. So I host the screening area, and I do panels, and then whatever else they need me to do.
So you do a podcast, Walker Nation. Where would we find that?
You can find it everywhere. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Stitcher Radio. You can find it on Spreaker. WalkerNation.net is the gateway. So you can, just search Walker Nation somewhere and you can find it. It's us.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for talking with us. We'll be sure to keep an eye out for that. And I think that's all the con tips we have for panels.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everyone. That's all the time we have. Thank you so much, Amber, for being on the show.
No problem.
And maybe we'll have you back again, maybe with the 6-foot wings. We'll
Oh,
have to
God.
get a bigger set for that.
All right.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time. And in the meantime, have fun and cosplay on. Interested in cosplay, but you're not sure where to start? Get my book, Elements of Cosplay, Costume and Beyond, available on Amazon.com. Thank you for watching Captain Kyle's Cosplay Spotlight. If you enjoyed this episode, here's a few more you may enjoy. And don't forget to click the link to subscribe. Have fun and cosplay on.